Hello out there, folks. Today we have a real special guest. His name is Rick Freni. He's the president of the Little Ricky Foundation for 5+ years. He's a community veteran and a community volunteer. And Mr. Freni, let me welcome you to the Revere Veterans and Community Show.
Morris, it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be here.
It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And let you start speaking about your foundation, what you do for the autistic children.
Thank you, Morris. Well, my foundation was created over 5 years ago. It's called the Little Ricky Foundation, in honor of my son Ricky, who's autistic. He's a junior at Revere High School. And what we do is we raise money, and we provide services, field trips to all the special needs classrooms throughout the Revere public school system.
Now, I believe you have 3 children, 2 of which are autistic.
Yes, I have 3 children. Ricky is a junior, and Olivia, who's in 5th grade at the Wayland School, also she's autistic. My daughter Julia is 9th grade. She's okay. They're all okay, and she's not autistic, my daughter Julia, but all 3 are just wonderful.
Right. Now, I got to ask you, growing up with 2 of your 3 children autistic, did you find that very difficult?
Well, you know what? Yeah, it was difficult. It was definitely a learning process because autism is really coming to the, it wasn't around back in the 80s and 70s growing up, so you really had no idea what was going on. And my son was one of the first group of kids really to be mainstreamed into the school system with autism. But it was a struggle, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
Right. By the way, I understand you also do DJ. You do music.
Oh, yeah.
How does that intertwine with the autistic? Does it work pretty good?
Oh, it works great. You're kidding me? My son, Ricky, he loves the 80s. He loves 80s music. He always has. Always responds to the 80s music. My Olivia, who I mentioned is in 5th grade, she loves music as well. Something about music with children and autism, it just really resonates.
Right. You know, that's for your music children. I go back to the 20s and 30s, Rick. And music-wise, I'm talking. We met at the Howard Johnson's about 25 years ago.
Yes.
And you were doing DJ there, and you took off somewhere, and you let me do the DJ, and we had a little machine there with 2 discs.
Yeah, that's when the CDs came out, back in the late 80s. Yeah, right. At the old Misty's nightclub at the Howard Johnson's on Squire Road.
And how long have you been doing the DJ
Oh,
music?
I started off right in high school, probably right around 84, 85. And I've been doing it ever since. It's all private parties now. I'm out of the club scene. So I do weddings, graduations, backyard parties, wherever there's a need for music, I try to be there.
And if people wanted to contact you, how would they go about it?
Well, I have a website set up. It's djrickfreni.vpweb.com. You can just Google DJ Rick Freni. It'll take you right there. It'll show you the website, my phone number, address, all the good stuff. I got all kinds of referrals on the webpage, and that's and that's DJ Rick Freni. I've been doing it for over 25 years now.
Right. And what kind of music do you play?
I play the music they want to hear, Morris. So I could be at a Greek wedding, they want Greek music in top 40. I could be at Italian music, they want Italian music and disco. It doesn't matter. Every wedding, every event is different. I cater to what they want to hear. Fantastic.
Now I'm going to ask you, by the way, before we go into further, you have a foundation.
Yes.
You collect money for the foundation to help the autistic kids.
Correct.
Tell the people where the money goes to the schools and how
Sure.
you do that.
Yeah. What we do is for the last 5 years we've held events. It's called Little Ricky Foundation. We've held them at the Moose over in Malden because it's a big enough venue. We also had one here at the Castle Lucia in Revere. What we do is we raise money. The money we raise goes to all special ed classrooms, any classroom deemed special ed that has children with developmental disabilities. If the teachers need arts, crafts, they need money for a field trip, whether it's a bus rental. We got a smart board for a teacher over at the Garfield School who needed a smart board. Those are high-priced items, but any teacher in the school system that needs anything, they know how to get in touch with us. They call us, they email us.
Give them your phone number.
All the teachers, yeah, it's 781-704-1300. That's all the special ed teachers. That's teachers, administrators, aides, therapists, paraprofessionals. They all know how to get in touch with me. They can call me. They can email me.
Give me your email, your website.
Sure. My email is Ricky Freni, RICKYFRENI, @msn.com. just let us know who you are, what school you're with, and what you need, and we'll try to get it to you within a week.
And another question I'd like to ask you, I want to stick
Sure.
to the autistic for a while.
Absolutely.
You take them on field trips?
Yeah.
And where do you usually take them?
Oh, we different it up every year. You know, some of the classrooms at the Wheeling School, we went to the Franklin Park. Last year, we took a bunch of kids from the high school and the life skills program over at the high school that Matt Nazaro teaches, and we brought them to the North Shore Navigators right down the street in Lynn at Frazier Field.
Yep.
It was Ricky Freni Day. Little Rick threw out the first pitch of the game. All the kids had autographs. They had a VIP section for them. And for most of the kids there, Morris, it was their first time at a baseball stadium of any level, whether it was high school, college, semi-pro, or pro.
And how did they enjoy it?
They loved it. They loved the game just as much as they loved the food.
That's
and we're going to do it again this year. We have all kinds of field trips planned this year.
Do you know roughly when you're going to be doing it this year?
We don't. The field trip season is going to start right after the 4th of July. So we're doing trips to Fenway. We'll go back to the Lowell.
You taking to Fenway Park?
Oh,
tour?
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we took them on a tour last year.
And
They loved it. Yeah, took them right to the game. Took them outside. Took them to tour the Green Monster inside the scoreboard. Took them out for lunch. Yeah, anything. You know, every kid should be on equal ground, whether or not they're autistic or not. So, if a general ed kid has a chance to do that, an autistic kid should also have a chance to do something like that. So
that's excellent. What
yeah,
you
we
really
make
do
sure
for
that
the
they
kids.
have every opportunity that everyone else has.
Also, before we went on the
Sure.
show, you also mentioned something to me about scholarships for those kids.
Yeah, well, what we did, we ran a frosted golf tournament back in February. It was a few feet of snow on the ground, if you remember the past one we just had. And we had a handful of golfers. We raised just over $1,000. And we decided to give out a Little Ricky scholarship to any Revere High School senior who was going to go to college and specialize in special ed, in the special ed field. There was quite a few candidates. We were stuck between two, so two individuals both got $500 apiece. And it's a cash for college award, so they can take the cash, they can buy books with it, they can stock their refrigerator in their dorm, whatever they want to do.
That's fantastic. By the way, I got to tell you,
Yes, sir.
by the time they are 3 years old, the autistic kids, that's when you can first recognize them.
Yeah, usually the signs are there by the time they're 3 years old. You know, the behavioral signs are not responding to the typical sounds. You have to call them, you know, good 10, 12 times to get their attention. You kind of have to grab their chin a little bit so they can look at you. They're kind of always in a daze. And you know, they have better, you know, the sooner you find out your child's autistic, once you overcome that, 'cause it's, you know, it's a terrible thing to hear.
Of course.
But there are services in place. At 3 years old, you can get them involved in the local school, and we have wonderful, wonderful early intervention classrooms here in Revere, staffed by probably some of the greatest, most compassionate people you're ever going to meet in your life. And my son was benefited by that, by being in the school system at 3 years old.
Right. I was speaking to you before we went on the show.
Yeah.
And we were talking about autistic naturally, but you also mentioned a great scientist who came from Germany.
That's correct. Yeah, Albert Einstein.
What
Albert
about
Einstein was
Albert?
considered by many to be autistic.
And he was a shared genius.
Absolutely.
And
Didn't have the best social skills, but he was a genius. And a lot of autistic kids are deemed genius. A lot of people think autism is Dustin Hoffman and the Rain Man.
yeah,
That's, you know, it's not like that. But you know, there are some in that case, but that's really generalization. That every autistic kid should be treated. It is dealt with differently as far as teaching and how much they can learn and what they can do. We basically try to give the teachers the tools so these kids can be as independent as possible when they graduate and be contributing members to the community when they become adults.
right. Now, let me ask you, a lot of the autistic kids, I believe, have graduated from college, from high school and gone into college.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Some have gone to college. Look at Albert Einstein. Some have gone to college. My son, Ricky, graduates next year. He wants to go to college, so you know, there's a couple of colleges around here that specialize. North Shore Community College has a great program. Curry College has a program for children with autism. So more and more doors are starting to open for these wonderful kids.
Right. Now, besides college, have any of them ever gone into business for themselves?
There are many. I can't think of the names right now,
No,
but
but
there was quite a few there. There are quite a few that didn't go on to college that have just become are so smart, open up their own business, and have become successful. Some have married, autistic kids. You're not defined because you're autistic. You define on what you can do. Autistic
Right.
is just a label, but you shouldn't be defined by that label. And these kids can do anything.
Right now, do they have, like in the schools, like when I went to school, they had naturally educational, but they also had what we call shop. Do they have those things for the autistic children too?
Well, they have. What they do is what we try to do with what the schools try to do with the autistic kids, and we try to include them in everything, include them with the general education, because autistic is really it's a social and behavioral issue with the brain, and keeping all autistic kids together really doesn't improve your social and behavior skills as you get older. So what they do is these kids that get older in the school system, they try to put them in general ed settings with an aide, or with a teacher that's cross-trained in special ed and general ed. And that has been working out incredibly in the school system.
Right, but then...
But they don't have a section where they have like life skills at the high school, where they have kids with autism and Downs and other developmental disabilities, where they're creating all kinds of little workshops for them. And like I said, Matt Nazario, who's a life skills teacher at the high school, wonderful, wonderful person, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He takes his kids, prepares them for the workforce, takes them out, go job interviewing, comfort in wherever it's going to be, and just helps them out and just get used to it, and talks to local owners in the mayor and tries to get these kids summer jobs or jobs after high school.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
And by the way, do they participate in sports, correct?
Yeah, some do. My son, little Rick's on the JV golf team. He was one of the first in the Commonwealth to be on a JV golf team in the state. He had a great job. His coach Deb Buckley, is absolutely wonderful with him and all the kids, and he'll be a senior this year. So he'll either be with Coach Buckley or Matt Nazario, who also coaches the varsity. He'll be with one or the other. And they both have special ed backgrounds, and they're great golf coaches, and it's wonderful to see. That's wonderful to see.
You gave me something here. I can't find it.
Yeah, it's a lanyard. Yeah, I gave you one of these. It's a Little Ricky Autism Support
What did I do
lanyard.
with it?
It's inside. You got it on. It's on your hand.
Oh,
there
there
you
it
go,
is.
Morris.
Right. And you also gave me...
I also gave you a bracelet.
Listen.
Yeah, what we do is we sell the bracelets and lanyards, and we just raise money. They're only a couple of dollars a piece. And we raise money, and we keep it in the account if we need it. It's all. We only really do one fundraiser a year. It's a tough economy out there. So we try to hit people up once a year, raise a lot of money, and we distribute that throughout the entire education year.
Right. Now, I know we didn't rehearse any of this here, so all these questions are coming from my heart.
Of course.
Do you ever have any kids, like they have Special Olympics? Do the kids participate in that too, some of them?
Some kids do participate in the Special Olympics. I'm not involved with the Special Olympics, but it's funny. I believe it's coming up soon, this weekend or next weekend, the opening ceremonies, and I was invited. Part of the foundation was my wife and I were invited as president and vice president of the foundation to go to the opening ceremony. So,
where's that going to be held, by the way?
It is local. I want to say it's at the Reggie Lewis Track and Field Center, but I will check on that, and it'll be on my website by the end of the day. I'll have that on there as well.
That's good.
Yeah, so we just try to go out there. My son doesn't participate in the Special Olympics at all, but it's a great outlet for, I know there are children that have autism that are in Special Olympics, and it's absolutely wonderful.
And what are the requirements to participate in the Special Olympics? I mean, any age limit or any?
Any age limit. Any age limit.
An adult?
You can be 8 or 80.
Oh.
Oh, absolutely. Special Olympics does not discriminate age at all. At all. It's all ages, it's all ranges, it's all ages. Everyone, like I like to say, Morris, anyone of any ability.
So what is the youngest one that you know of that participated?
Oh, I would probably say the youngest one in Special Olympics might be about 6 years old, maybe.
And the oldest? Don't look at me when I say that.
No, Morris. I would, the oldest is probably in his 60s. He or she's in his 60s, maybe.
That's very good to have.
Yeah, they go year
participant.
after year. It's a wonderful event.
Now, let me ask you, do they have wouldn't it be nice if, or maybe you've already started it, like have a baseball team made up of the special needs student?
Yeah, I mean, That would be a great idea to get a little league started up
Right,
like
yeah.
that. But there's a lot of work involved. You know, right now we're trying to take care of the kids in the classroom. I mean, ideally, my next step is to have after-school programs for these children.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, whether it's second grade or 12th grade. The problem is there's not enough for them to do it. When the bell rings, they go home and they're kind of like waiting for the next morning to come around to go back to school. Not a lot of there's no social interaction at the end of the day.
So wouldn't it be good for the school system to
It'd be
have
good.
after school things?
Absolutely, and that's what we've been pushing for a few years. We'll see. That's a work in progress, Morris.
And get the volunteers. You know,
Yes.
I mean,
We need volunteers. I mean, I can only, you know, my wife and I will do whatever we can. We have some wonderful, we're surrounded by some wonderful family and friends that help out all the time whenever we need, whether it's helping out, volunteering, or financially supporting. They're always there for us, but we just need to just get more awareness out there, more support.
okay, now if a person or persons want to volunteer, what are their requirements? I mean, what is their education requirements and what do they need? And how do they contact you?
Well, education requirement. We don't care if you're an honor student at the junior in 11th grade at Revere High School. We're just looking for volunteers, kids to pair up with other kids. Which we have the Friendship Club at Revere High School that Matt Nazzaro started 3 years ago when little Rick was in 9th grade. And it takes children of all abilities, general ed and special ed, and we team them up. And we have dances once a year we do. We get together once a month. We go out, we hang out. We either go to a football game during football season or we'll hang out in the CAF, do some arts and crafts, just so these kids can socialize and know that there's a life outside their special ed room. There's other kids that know who they are and they want to be friends with them. And they want to talk to them. But it's a friendship club. It's at the high school. Ideally, I'd love to have a friendship club in all the schools.
Right.
And really pair these kids up. We just had a wonderful community festival last Friday at the high school stadium, the baseball stadium.
Yep.
We had 7 communities, Morris. We had Revere, Winthrop, Chelsea, Malden, Everett, Saugus, and Lynn.
Wow.
We had all the special ed kids, all their wonderful paraprofessionals with them, some teachers came down. I played some music. We had rides for the kids, food, drinks. You know, all these kids have these end of the year field days, but these kids don't. And this is our 3rd annual one, and it got bigger and bigger, and it was absolutely wonderful time. Nothing but it was smiles. Smiles all around, Morris. It was a wonderful day.
I can see that. So it's nice that parents that have autistic children and they don't know what to do, they can contact you.
They contact me. What they want to do is they want to contact probably the Revere CPAC, which is the Special Education Parent Advisory Council. I think it's reverecpac.bravehost.com. If you just Google Revere CPAC, S-E-P-A-C, they'll let you know if you found out your child's autistic, what to do.
Or they'll check out.
There are meetings once a month. It's run by 2 wonderful people, Don Woodman and Heidi Chait. They are probably 2 of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. They know everything about autism. They know the rules, the difference, what you need to ask for from the school system, how to deal with it. I mean, I've been to a few meetings there where people just found out their child's autistic and they're breaking down at the meeting, Morris. You know, it's sad, you know, but we're there to support them.
Right.
And provide them direction.
Can you mention those 2 people again?
Yeah, it's Don Woodman and Heidi Chait, and they are 2 wonderful people over at the Revere CPAC. They've been there for years. Don Woodman is the president.
And where is the Revere CPAC located at?
Revere CPAC meets once a month over at the rec center. And if you just Google Revere CPAC, S-E-P-A-C, you'll see their calendar of events. And when the next meeting, keynote speakers, we've had people from Autism Speaks come in. There's people from special ed teachers have been in there. We've had principals come down. Everyone that can help out and just give us some.
So for the parents out there that need help, that's the place to go.
Yeah, you want to go to Revere CPAC, or you want you can also go to autismspeaks.org, Morris. They have wonderful 100-day kits when you just find out what to do for the first 100 days when your child's autistic. And there's these free kits on autismspeaks.org. It's wonderful. You need information. No one knows where to go. You want to go to Revere CPAC and you want to go to Autism Speaks. And from there you'll be able to branch out and reach a wonderful community of caregivers.
Right. Now, you've been helping the Revere children with autism for 5+ years.
Well, I've been helping a lot longer than that. The
Oh.
foundation's only been around for 5+ years. I've been helping them out since my son was autistic. So when he was in the school system, I was always asking the teachers, you need anything? Well, Mr. Freni, we could use, no problem. I'll go to the bank, take some money, oh, here you go. You need this, you need this, you need this. And after so many years, I said, geez, you know, I could probably do a whole lot more if I developed a foundation. So when I turned 40 years old a few years back, about 5 years ago, my wife was having a surprise party for me. I said, I don't want any gifts. Let's turn and just give money to my son and daughter's classroom. So at the time, my daughter was in, my son was at the Rumney Marsh
Right.
with Eric Castriano, great special ed teacher, and my daughter was at the Whalen at the time with Nicole Cassetta, another wonderful special ed teacher. And so what we did was we raised money. I think people just threw checks and cash in my birthday box. I didn't want any gifts. And we got $2,500. So I was able to give $1,250 to one class, $1,250 to another class, and it started off from there. I said, you know what, gee, we should start a foundation up, and it's good. We raised over $50,000 in 5 years, and we provided over $50,000 in 5 years, and we won't stop going until there's a cure, Morris.
Right, Rick. And also, you talked about your son.
Yeah.
How about your daughter? Tell us about your
Oh,
daughter.
my Olivia, she's
Yeah.
she's fantastic. Both my daughters are great. Olivia is a singer. She loves to sing. She has a absolute wonderful voice.
Does she?
The people, Morris, if you ever have Revere Idol, she'll be on. She sings the national anthem every day at the Whalen School on the speaker, on the intercom at Principal Flynn's office. So they say, you know, please rise, do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then her and the music teacher, Miss Donahue there, will sing the national anthem, Oh God Bless America, patriotic theme song every morning.
And I guess they just plain love music.
They love music, and it's like living with Snow White, Morris. She sings, she wakes up, she goes to bed, she just loves to sing.
Right.
Yeah.
And what kind of music do they usually like, if I may ask you? I know you mentioned your son with the 80s. What about
my son, yeah, my son's a big Huey Lewis fan, Eddie and the Cruisers, he loves all that stuff. My Olivia, she likes anything. She likes anything her big sister likes. My Julia's in 9th grade, so she'll listen to, One Direction or Austin Mahone, whatever these top 40 kids are.
I don't even know who you're talking
about.
about.
Yeah, it makes two of us, Morris. So whatever, she really follows it. She follows Julia. And Julia's, my daughter Julia, having two autistic siblings, it's going to be tough on her, but I tell you, she is wonderful with her older brother and her younger sister. She really takes care of both of them, loves them to death, and she helps them out. I mean, if it wasn't for Julia, I don't know how far Olivia would be along right now. She's a great big sister.
That's fantastic,
Yeah.
Rick. I got to tell
Thank
you,
you, Morris.
What are your future plans? That's what I'd like to ask people. Like, what would you like to see in the future coming along to help your organization?
Well, I mean, I would love to see more after-school programs for kids of all abilities,
Right.
not just autism, whether it's Downs or it's autism or just plain speech impediments. There should be some place for these kids to go after school because they can't play the baseball. They can't do.
They can't play baseball?
A lot of them just, they won't make the baseball team. A lot of them just aren't athletically.
No, what I meant is you could have your own autism baseball.
That is a heck of an undertaking. You'd have to, your own, but who you have to play? You have to play another team.
Right.
And you have to have other teams all do it. But that's something down the road. That's more Special Olympics, but that's something I would love to get going. But right now I'd like to work on more after-school programs. And
But you could have them on racetrack teams?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it was recommended to my son to participate in the cross country. That's something he could do. But if we get more after-school programs, and as long as the funding keeps coming to the Little Ricky Foundation, we'll keep helping out the teachers whenever they need us.
And you could have them do music, play instruments.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And do they
I'd
do-
love to have a place for them to go, whether it's in the school or outside the school, just to hang out and play some music and just socialize with each other, with a lot of volunteers there as well.
Can some of them even play the piano? Because
Oh, sure.
I certainly can't.
Oh, you can't? No, really?
No.
You can't hit the ivory strokes?
Nope.
No?
I don't even know where they are.
Yeah, autistic kids, yeah, they're very, like I say, it's a social behavioral disease. But as far as concentrating on playing, some of them are great instrument players. My daughter plays the piano. That's funny you say that. She plays the piano all
Does
the
she?
time. Oh yeah, I got a piano set up in the living room.
Good.
Plays it all the time and sings.
Rick, you got to excuse me.
Sure.
We've got about a few minutes left. Why don't you take a couple of minutes and wrap it up and talk about anything you'd love to talk about and what you would like to see our foundation do?
Well, like I say, Morris, I love to see the, I'd love to see more after-school programs in the city, as well as statewide, even nationally. But a lot of people don't know it's autism affects 1 in 88 children.
Right.
As we pointed out earlier, 1 in 54 are boys.
Wow.
Every 1 in 54 boys have autism. Every 1 in 252 girls have autism. So it affects boys 5 times as much. And it's not just locally or national, it's globally. In some parts of the world, it's a lot more, its impact, like South Korea. Every 1 in 38 kids in South Korea has autism. And in America, it's 1 in 88. So, I mean, it's a worldwide epidemic. The problem is, Morris, the National Institute of Health, they have their funding scales and all the childhood diseases, but there are more kids that have autism than anything else combined, yet autism at the bottom of the funding scale. So until Congress and the President and everyone else pushes us up the ladder a little bit here, we're going to be we're always looking for private donors and have Autism Speaks and all these other wonderful organizations, Morris, but we need to get more funding and more research to find out why it's happening so we can get a cure for it.
Right. And Rick, I got to say, I want to thank you for coming up here.
Oh, Morris, it's absolutely my pleasure, sir.
God bless you,
Thank
and
you.
God bless your children.
Thank you.
God bless the people of Revere, our troops, and the United States of America. And Ricky, I wish you the best of luck. And to you people out there, if you can help Rick Freni, please do so. And thank you all for listening, and have a nice day.